we should record like what's the step-by-step process in buying a property before actually going to an open house. Okay. You guys have a pre-approval. You saw the agent getting like disappointed for wasting their time with you, and you not knowing like what's going on around you. Like you just saw the house, you like it, but you don't know what's next.
Yeah.
So.
Hi everyone, my name is Alex here, and today I have a guest. He is going to present himself. Tell us who you are and what you're doing here.
All right, people. My name is Gabriel Harris. I am a real estate investor, and I'd like to talk today about how you can purchase your first house.
If I can ask you a question, let's say you're looking to buy a property in some area, so you're a buyer, first-time home buyer. So you came to my open house either, or maybe you just called me to show you the property. You came, take a look in the property, and then what's gonna be next? So what you're doing, or maybe you start doing some processes before that.
Exactly, and that's a really good question. So I would like to give everybody a homework to do. Like the first step, before you even think about buying a property, you must get your things in place, like credit score, like financials, like tax return, your purchase criteria, what you're looking for actually. So we will start with credit because this is the most common issue I noticed for everybody like who's looking to buy a house. So just go on Credit Karma, go on Experian.com, get a login, like credentials, get your account up and running, and go check it out what their credit profile looks like. Make sure you have a good, decent credit score. Make sure you have all the information reported correctly, because your name, your address, your social security number, all your accounts should be in good standing. You wanna make sure you don't have like 2-3 different names. And if you do, please contact a credit repair business and make sure everything is cleared out and you have like only one name, only 1 or 2 addresses, couple of decent accounts. Make sure your credit score looks good, because you're gonna apply for a mortgage most likely. Like, I'm not sure who can afford the property for cash, especially in Washington where we are right now. Second thing would be check your financial status. Like, when you go to a lender, they're gonna request a 2-year of tax return. They're gonna check your statements for about 6 months or so. And if you're a 1099 employer, like a business owner or such, you're gonna have additional questions, like you have to provide proof of funds, providing your P&L to your lender. And once you have a pre-approval, guess what? Now you can contact Alex and jump into open houses, or actually can ask Alex to subscribe you based on your buying criteria. Easiest way would be, at least for me, I go on Zillow, I check like all the properties in the zip code I want, and then based on what I like and I don't like, I build myself a criteria and I can share it with Alex. And it's gonna be what year is built, how many bedrooms, 2-story, 1-story, like recently remodeled or brand new or used property or whatever, like however you want to get into a real estate game.
Okay, so basically what you want to say, so before starting going to open house, you gotta check your credit first, so that's gonna be the first thing. And then the second thing is gonna be kind of like to get a pre-approval from the lender. So anyway, whenever the lender is gonna look at your financials, so he's gonna look at the credit score as well. And then you can start, so whenever you got that pre-approval, so you know like your purchase price, basically what you can afford, and then you can start shopping for a house.
Exactly, that would be the long story short. So if you guys just start watching, just speed it up, listen to him.
If I can ask you a question related to credit history, let's say if I don't have any kind of credit history, can I still buy a house?
If you're talking about going traditional route, buying a single family or apartment, or I mean, doesn't matter what kind of property you want to buy, you would need actually to get qualified for the loan. If you're looking to get a loan in place, like a mortgage, then you need to get qualified. And without a credit history in place, with a credit score that's showing your capacity of purchasing a property, then most likely you're gonna get a denial.
Okay.
So credit score is a must thing, especially here in the US, if you want to borrow money in order to buy the property.
Yeah. Only the thing if you have like $1 million cash, so you basically don't care about any kind of credit score.
Unless you have cash, of course. I mean, cash is king.
Yes.
But credit is power. Like you can leverage others people's money in order to scale up your business or your needs.
You can leverage king with power and make the empire.
Exactly. I like
Just
that.
came up with the formula right here, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
like
that's very good. Can you tell us, like, for people who don't know anything about the credit score, can you tell me like a difference? What's a FICO? What's the other one? Advantage, okay. And what's gonna be like a good credit score to get a loan pre-approved? I'm not saying so. I know like people with 600 credit score can get pre-approved as well. But is there a difference if it's 600 and 800 for the score?
That's a very good question. So first of all, I will start talking about the difference between FICO and Vantage. So I recently mentioned about Experian.com and I mentioned Credit Karma. That are two basic free platforms who provide free information pretty much to anyone who's got at least one credit card. So Credit Karma is an app that's showing the Vantage score. When you open the app, you're gonna see like TransUnion Credit Bureau and Equifax Credit Bureau. And underneath that is gonna be Vantage 3.0. That's the algorithm Credit Karma is using to check your credit history and give you a number based on your account history. Now, on the other hand, Experian is pretty much the only bureau that's providing FICO 8 for free. So that's an algorithm that's gonna be used by your lender. If you wanna borrow money for a car, you wanna borrow money for a loan, mortgage, a credit card, all the time the lender's gonna use the FICO score. So the next question would be like, what's the difference between having a 600 credit score and 850 credit score when you borrow money for the mortgage? So a credit score is not gonna tell you the limit on the borrowing side, like how much you can borrow. The credit score is gonna tell you the interest rate you can borrow these funds on. And lower the credit score is, the higher the interest rate is gonna be. So let's say there's a person who's borrowing like 600K to buy a nice property at a 620 credit score, then most likely he's gonna get a way higher interest rate than the market average, what we have right now, like it's 7.5. So if you have a 620 credit score, you are F word. Like it's gonna be an 8+ interest rate and your monthly payment is just gonna kill you. But if you have an 800 credit score, we're talking about FICO now, then most likely you can play with the lender and actually even buy points, or you can apply to multiple lenders, and then they gonna compete to work with you because they know you're 100% a client who managed his financials, his on-time payments, and you're a serious buyer and they want to deal with you, so they're gonna give you a discount actually. So if the rates are now like 7.5, you can get probably even 7.25 or 7 interest rate just because you have a really nice credit score. It's not only about the numbers, the 800, 750, 700, it's about the credit history by itself. So make sure when you guys work on your credit history, you want to improve it and open like new lines, credit cards, lines of credit, loans, like all these steps take some time, I understand that. But it's gonna help you guys later down the road on getting lower interest rates on whatever money you want to borrow.
Okay, yeah. So basically what I'm hearing from you, whenever you say like if you are a client for a lender or not. So basically, lender by these numbers and credit score, whatever you have on the report, is gonna check the level of the risk they are taking whenever they borrow this money to you for a mortgage, right?
Exactly.
And
more one-time payments you have, less risky you look in front of the lender.
yes, and as higher this credit score is, so basically you are less riskier for them, and then kind of like they are open to lend the money to you, right? So either it's for mortgage, for car payment, or even like a regular installment loan, right?
Exactly. That's completely right.
I think it's very important to know exactly what you have on your credit report. So if you can tell people a little bit more about how to pull up the credit history and maybe to check some kind of information, and then everyone can do that for themselves, and then they know whenever they're ready, or if they have to take some actions to make it ready to buy a house, for instance.
Yep. So there are two types of credit pull that I want to mention. There is a soft pull and a hard pull. When you go to a lender, they're gonna do a hard pull on your credit history. They're gonna check all three bureaus, and that's gonna hurt your credit history a little bit, because when you get a hard pull, means a lender is requesting your information, and other lenders are getting notified that somebody just did a hard pull. But when you want to check your credit score by yourself, you can do a regular soft pull, and you can go online to annualcreditreport.com. That's the only free website provided by credit bureaus. Easiest way would be go on Google, type in like annualcreditreport.com. Don't look at the ads, like first 2 or 3 websites, they're gonna be like ads from Google. Just look for literally annualcreditreport.com. You're gonna be able to request like all 3 credit bureaus, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. You're gonna answer to a couple of questions, confirming your identity. And once you download it, make sure you download the PDF. Like your time on the page is gonna be limited. Like you can spend a couple of minutes, then you're gonna get logged out. So before getting logged out and losing the information, because you can do it once a month, you wanna make sure you have only one name reported. You wanna make sure you have like 1 or 2 addresses reported. Doesn't matter if you used to live like at 10 different addresses for the last 5 years or 2 years, 10 addresses.
Yeah.
Make sure you have 2 addresses. Lenders don't like when you jump from one place to another one. Now, the next step would be to check your social security number, make sure it's yours and it's the only one. And then the next section is gonna be all the accounts you have, starting with revolving lines. A revolving line would be your credit cards, and then you have loans, like such cars, bikes, boats, whatever you have, like a rocket, maybe, or a jet. And then it's gonna be the mortgage section, and then collections. You wanna make sure you don't have any collections. That means you have bad debt that's unpaid to debit collectors. You wanna make sure you don't have any collections. You wanna make sure all your payments are on time. So you're gonna see a credit history for each of your accounts. It's gonna be like either a green box if it's okay, if it's paid. It's gonna be a yellow box if it's missed payment, and it's gonna be a red box if it's like late for, let's say, 90 plus days. Like a charge-off account or a collection or such thing is gonna be a red box. You wanna make sure you have green all over the places. So that's about it, like how you check your credit profile.
And another question I have, and probably this is gonna be the last one for today. So basically you gave a lot of good information so far. Do you think people should somehow freeze or maybe lock their credit history, or that's not very important? And if so, why it's important to do that?
That's a really, really good question, and I'm glad you asked it. So freezing, what is it freezing, like your credit profile? We all know right now all the information is being sold and purchased, and a lot of scam is going on right now. So for people, especially who don't often use Credit Karma and such apps to monitor your credit profile, you can get scammed easily by someone who's purchasing or hacking your social security number. They can open credit cards, installments, loans, even a mortgage. Maybe someone can borrow money using your name, your profile, to buy a house. And that would be crazy when you go apply for a lender for a mortgage and you want to buy a house and you get a surprise, I own a boat somewhere in Texas, but I never lived in Texas and I never actually owned a boat. So to prevent such things, I would recommend to go online to every single platform like TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. Again, go back to Google, type in TransUnion freeze my credit, Equifax freeze my credit, Experian freeze my credit. You're gonna get redirected to their own website. You're gonna register, you're gonna get your own credentials, login and password. Make sure you don't share it again with anyone else, even your wife.
Yeah.
And
or if you're doing, don't share it with the husband.
Yep. And make sure you request a freeze. That's gonna place a lock on your profile, and whenever somebody or even you, if you go online and apply for a credit card, it's gonna get denied automatically, because no one is gonna get your information from the credit bureaus, and none of the lenders gonna provide an approval to someone who, even you, like you have to unfreeze it first.
Yes.
Let it go like 24 hours. This is how long it takes to unfreeze your profile, and then you can go and apply. So let's say today you don't plan to apply for a mortgage, for a credit card, for anything. Just go online, freeze it, lock it down, and whenever you plan to get a new house, a new car, a boat, a rocket again, a jet, just go online, unfreeze it. It's gonna take like up to 24 hours. Recently I noticed it's gonna take like 1 to 2 hours, honestly, but 24 hours to be on the safe side. And then go apply, get your approval, lock it down back. So this is gonna protect you and keep you away from all these issues down the road, like if you find, to prevent from scamming.
Basically, whenever you lock the credit history, so you can still access that account on, let's say, Experian, and you can still see your credit history, right, and credit score.
Nothing's gonna change.
Yeah, but the only thing, so other parties, they will not be able to pull up your credit, right?
That's exactly how it is.
How it works. Yeah, and this is, I think it's very good, because a friend of mine, so he had stolen his identifications, and he found out that he has like truck rental and then some tractors, like some equipment, and somebody tried to get some loans on his name and all that stuff, and he had like a lot of issues with that, and then he was trying to lock it up everything and then to clear all that stuff, because it's not that easy to clear all this, right?
Cleaning takes time, and I've seen it taking like 2 years, 3 years for some people, depends on the mess on the account. So yeah, you can wake up one day that you gonna owe a lot of money to a lot of people you never met, you never dealt with, never did any business with. And it's gonna be a headache, especially let's say you have a down payment for the house, you have your tax return in place. Now you go to a lender, you already know what house you want to buy, and the lender is telling you like, hey, actually your credit is messed up. So think what, like now you're gonna pay rent again. Now you're gonna
take a
lot of time to fix everything, pay money for that, go to courts, police reports, a lot of BS you don't want to deal with. So easiest way, it's gonna take like 5 minutes to lock it down for all 3 bureaus.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, thank you very much for all this great information. I think people will benefit of that, and how to check their history and how to play with it, I will say that way, to make it properly and to stay safe on that. Thank you very much for all the information you provided, and wish you a great day.